Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on today's episode, we'll take a look at LSU's offense versus Florida's defense. Florida coming off a disastrous loss versus Texas. LSU coming off a shellacking versus Alabama. And entering into this game, LSU was top 5 in sacks allowed, 9th in third down conversion. And although LSU would convert a ton of third downs, more than 50%, they would allow 7 sacks, one more than they allowed all season long entering into this game. And it wasn't because Florida brought pressure. As we said on the podcast entering into this game, it's not a good idea actually to bring pressure against Nussmeier. His highest quarterback rating is when you bring pressure or when he is pressured. It's far better to play with either 4 down linemen or 3 and play coverage behind that. Florida largely did that. I'm going to show you on this breakdown how Florida was successful, especially in the second half, at getting those sacks. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our weekly podcast, and drop us a dono where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all season long. You'll have to bear with me on this one as my voice is not 100%, so you're going to hear some scratchiness and some funkiness. My apologies there, but as always, I hope you enjoy the review of what's going to wind up being Billy's hopefully 4th win versus a team with a 500 or better record once the season is done. That's, of course, no guarantee for LSU as they've now lost 3 in a row, but could be Billy's 4th win against a team, again, that's 500 or above in his career at Florida. 3rd down and 2 here for LSU on their first drive. And if you guessed that we were going to see a guard tackle counter, a GT counter early on, you would guess correctly. Of course, as I've already mentioned, LSU's 3rd down rate is excellent. 3rd best in the country versus FBS teams, best in the SEC. This was going to be a major point of emphasis in the game for Florida. They were going to fail largely on 3rd down rate, still allowing LSU 54% on 3rd down, but they were going to come up with some stops and big moments, and this is going to be one of them. Even here, right at the beginning of the game, it did help to set the tone for LSU, a team that's been struggling to run the ball. Is much better passing than running, and Sapp here is going to be the key contributor. Banks is going to pop up all over film in this game. He was absolutely dominant. But Sapp is going to hold up single-handedly versus this GT counter and get in here on a wedge and be able to slow this play down, giving Florida a stop on a 4th and short. There is your counter right there. There comes your counter run. Now, I think you could argue here if he's a more patient running back, he certainly has a chance to take this outside the counter. Instead, he's going to slam it right up in here, but you can't say enough about Sapp. Sapp single-handedly is going to deny the gap you want to run this GT counter into. There it is, all muddied up. We've talked about the slow-moving train. You want to get in there and slow that train down, which he does. Right here, he can't pull through. He's got no space, right? It's mucked up, and that's going to go for a yard or yard and a half or so. You can see him surging there at the end, but he can't quite get there. Florida comes in, gets the hands on him right here, makes a stop on the interior, bringing up a 4th down and short in decision time for Brian Kelly. 4th down and 1 for LSU. And look, this is not an LSU Tiger team of old, of course. They're just not the same, right? Florida does not have to worry about them running in between the tackles with a lot of success. That's not what they have been good at this season. Success rate wise, when it comes to running plays, they're 99th. Just not something they're excelling at. So LSU is going to try to get something going on the edge. And the key player is going to be Gates here, 13 for the Gators. LSU needs to get a block to where they can seal him on the inside, allowing the block that's going to really set this play free on the edge to occur. But as I roll this, focus on Gates, the guy I circled right here on the edge. He's going to take a quick instep and then get to the outside. And as we go to this jet sweep handoff, what they want to do is they want to seal this and pin this down here, get to the edge here on Dijon, and then pick up a 1st down. That's not going to happen when Gates immediately gets outside leverage. There it is. And now we can't get out to where we want to get to. Now we're in trouble. We went up front in here, so we can't just bottle it in this way, right? We're stretching this up here. Good integrity here. But Gates now controlling the edge. very important, but not only controlling the edge, getting into the backfield because he essentially jukes out the blocker who needs to pin him. And this guy really makes a big mistake, right? If you're LSU, it's a big mistake there. If Gates steps to the inside, you just let him. Then you pin him down in there. But instead, he stepped with him, allowing Gates to get outside leverage, which ultimately is all Gates wants to do there anyway. He is the edge defender. He needs to be on the edge. But kudo there for Gates for faking out the blocker and then creating this situation where now it's Dijon coming off the edge. There is no blocker for him anymore, and it's a one-on-one tackle opportunity in the backfield, and he is going to make this play. Great wrap-up. Get right on the hip right there. Bingo. Play made. Stop happens. If you're in the stadium, you see Dijon, I think great tackle, but that play is made right there by 13 Gates. Big time play for the defense, denying LSU right away on 4th down and 1, and Florida gets great field position. Here's the Skycam look at that same exact play on 4th down and 1. You're going to see there's your pop pass, and here is your win, right? Rewind it for you. Look at the step in here from Gates. Gates is going to step in. There's the step in, and 14. Not going to want to watch this on film review here in the LSU film room this week. Just needs to let him do it. If he steps in here, 14 steps out here and pins him down, and it's over. There's no chance he can run with this. So 14 there, not understanding leverage, steps in with him, gets faked. Gates quicker than him, now beats him to the outside, and what should have been, based upon the play design, an easy first down, gets ruined here, right here by Gates. Gates again with a hero play, taking on 2-on-1, allowing Dijon to be free. And now Dijon's still got to make this tackle in the backfield, which he does. Castell there for good looks and posterity. And big time stop for the Gators. 1st and 10 now for LSU. They started in bad field position as they would for most of this game. They get a face mask penalty on Caleb Banks, and now they are here on 1st down and 10. This is going to be an incomplete pass. I'm going to show it to you because this largely was the story of the game. LSU comes into this game, I'm going to pause it right here, comes into this game 18th in success rate when it comes to passing plays. They are 3rd best in the country at sacks allowed versus the FBS. And quite interestingly enough, and there are some interesting stats on LSU, but they actually do best when pressured. So Nussmeier has his best rating as a quarterback when pressure gets to him. So for Florida coming into this game, we had said one of the keys is they don't need to actually get pressure. And in fact, they should frequently play zone, don't play man. They should use sim pressures. They should drop 8 and rush 4. So, drop 8, rush 3, or just rush 4. That's the best way to go. You don't actually need to necessarily generate pressure. And this is going to be an example of that. This throwaway is not because of pressure. It's because of coverage that then turns into pressure down the road. But Florida's not going to win up front immediately. We're going to see Banks do what we see Banks do on film a lot in this game, which is drive his assignment player back. But Florida is locking up these routes, right? Wall off the inside here. Got that taken care of here. On top of this right here. 2-on-1ing this here. Again, LSU, a competent and solid passing team. Nussmeier has nothing that he wants to go to here. He does have this ball. This is available. He's not going to take it. Nothing he wants to comfortably go to here. And now, again, hitch route here. We're coming downhill. Doesn't love that. You don't see this with Lagway, by the way, right? Lagway is a much more convicted thrower when he's choosing to throw. And now he's escaping out. And Florida is going to need to be rewarded on film for something that we've seen them struggle to do. Nussmeier is not a gifted runner. But we have seen Florida in the past not have good discipline, right? You need to have 4 or 5 or 6 or 3, whatever the number is, of your linemen working as one. They need to make sure they also control the edge. As he tries to escape here, we're here, and we're here. And now we're going to funnel this right in between us so that he cannot get away, and he's got to throw this ball away right there. So on 1st down and 10, that is a sign of things to come for this game, that Florida would get what you're going to see, several coverage sacks in this game, as they would rack up an incredible 7 sacks in this game. LSU only allowed 6 all season coming into this. Florida was not exactly a pressure factory coming into this game or a sack factory, but in this game, they had a game plan on defense that, although allowed LSU to have the ball forever and allowed them to convert a lot of 3rd downs, was most successful in explosive plays via the sack. And that was largely the difference in this game. Again, LSU coming into this game 20th when it came to success rate with regards to havoc. They do not typically allow a lot of tackles for loss or sacks at all. And Florida essentially took their strength, LSU's strength that is, and turned it into the major reason why Florida actually won the game. 3rd down and 2, same part of the field we saw earlier. It feels like a sequel. And again, Gates is going to be the hero on this play as well. LSU is trying to run a flat route right here and trying to get a block right here, which they're not going to get. But watch how quickly Gates reads this play. Eyes on the receiver, eyes back into the backfield. He's a conflict defender. He's got to help in the run fit. If it becomes a pass, he's got to get back and cover pass. Right now, he's attempting to read what's happening with this play. Gates has some deficiencies right now, primarily in straight pass coverage, but he is an excellent run defender in large part because of his read awareness. We saw it on 4th down with a step into control of the edge, and we're going to see it again here. Right now, he reads at this point in time, this play is coming over here. Look at that. Immediately recognizes the play that is coming towards him. Gives no credit for the receiver that's in front of him. And now he is trying to set up this block, and you're going to realize it's a familiar number here. It's number 14. We saw him blow it earlier. He's going to blow it again here. He is not having a good time on this film review. If you're an LSU fan, you are not loving what you're seeing here. Cooked by Gates again. And now Gates is going to ruin yet another high leverage play. 2-0 for Gates. Reads the play. Leaves his blocking assignment absolutely in the dust. Comes downhill and ends this play right there, making the tackle to finish this. I mean, that is just, again, 10 out of 10 twice for Gates. Elite play awareness. Excellent work. And for 14, you're putting stuff on a film where coaches have to ask him if he should be in the lineup again this Saturday, because you just can't allow a guy to read your mail like that twice in a row, and he does it. I mean, sensational stuff from 13 there for the Gators. Let's do a quick status check here on Brian Kelly and how he feels about Gates' play so far. Going to get a nice punt it, fold the play sheet, put the play sheet in your pocket. He is rightfully super pissed off. Again, that's 2 plays in a row where 14 lets him down, and that's why football is such a great game, right? You've got to have 11 guys playing as a unit, all doing their job. We've seen it on this film review for years. If one guy gets out of whack, the whole defense is cooked. In this case here for Florida, one guy gets out of whack twice with LSU because he loses his one-on-one battle, and Florida gets 2 crucial stops. This time LSU elects to punt and not go for it because Brian Kelly, feeling like he can't trust his team, LSU fans feeling like they can't trust Brian Kelly. It's pain right now early on here in the swamp. Still nothing, but Florida's defense comes up big twice early. So much of this game felt like LSU was just waiting to get to 3rd down to actually have success, and you're going to see it on this play as well. Shamar James going to lose a one-on-one matchup on this basic out route. Florida's been struggling to stop, obviously, receivers with their linebackers. Teams have been attacking them. Georgia's done it. Of course, we saw Texas do it. Texas also outright attacked their edge players as well. But one thing that was significantly important for Florida in this game I have not talked about yet was the fact that they had to play 2 corners the entire game, because as we saw against Texas, Cormani is just not ready to play college football unless he knows exactly what he's doing pre-snap. There's no motion. There's something that will confuse him. As he blew multiple calls in that game versus Texas on the film last week, he did not see the field this week. And I think, again, that's the whole with Cormani, right? To be a complete corner, you have to know what your assignments are. You've got to play a variety of coverages based upon motion, stacks, sets, adjustments, etc. And I just don't think he's there yet. And one thing I think that's hurt Florida as well in the past is how often they rotate their players. We talk about it in the podcast all the time. Florida essentially played Dejon Johnson, and they played, obviously, a guy who we've profiled all year long as like perhaps now maybe the most valuable defender that Florida has in Bridges, number 7, who's played safety, he's played strong safety, he's played corner. But they played corner the entire game. Then you also had Castell and Thornton in the back end the entire game. And I do think the continuity of these players playing every single snap, much more of an NFL-style mentality when it comes to rotation, this was forced, of course, was beneficial to Florida as this game went on. I think there was benefit to that, but enough cannot be said about the job that Bridges has done here for the Gators, the Oregon transfer, and then Dejon Johnson getting a lot of playing time here, right? Both of these guys not thinking they were going to play a lot of corner this year in moments like this, but they held up the whole game. And LSU, of course, did attack them, as we're going to see. But here they're going to attack this matchup instead. And on 3rd down and 6, they're going to win. That's just too easy. They're on Shamar. Good ball by Nussmeier. They move the sticks on 3rd down and 6. And again, as we're going to see a lot of 3rd down conversions on this film review, they take advantage of Shamar James there. But I wanted to get ahead of it early, that I think that adjustment Florida made coming into this game, not playing Cormani and playing 2 corners the entire game, both of them who played very well in this game, was a significant reason why Florida gets the win in this, as they did not allow LSU to have any significant coverage bust plays, much like LSU's defense allowed Florida to have. 3rd and 4, we're going to see Nussmeier observe a light box here. Light box, going to check this play right here. Light box, Florida, with 5 and then a 6th here in Shamar on the strong side here, helping out. Going to adjust the play call. Going to bring their tight end in motion to add on. And now we're going to end up here, a little numbers game-wise. Let's count up the numbers right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And LSU now going to have 7 blockers. So blocking 1 more than Florida has here on 3rd down and 4. Perhaps a rare run call. Again, checking to this. They'd much rather pass, but Florida playing too high here, way off the ball. Playing pretty safe on this 3rd down and 4. And LSU's going to get a nice, easy inside run pickup for a 1st down. Moving the sticks yet again on 3rd down. 3rd and 1 now. We've seen Florida in previous games play more aggressively than they are here early against LSU. Again, this is a prime place on the field here to take a shot. Excellent place on 3rd down and 1. Brian Kelly, an aggressive play caller, to take a shot here. Florida's going to play it safe on the back end. Going to have 6 men in the box, so not being super aggressive on this play on 3rd down and short. Going to walk a 7th there of Denson into the box, but Denson's really just playing the edge. So again, in here for LSU, they're going to have 8 players in the box, so they're out leveraging Florida early on here. 3rd down and 1. Florida's still playing safe at this part of the game. And even though Big Dez gets a win, does not make the tackle, and that's going to move the sticks there for LSU. Because LSU is so much better passing than they are running this season, you really want to be able to play them with a lighter box if you can. And Florida's going to accomplish that here. Just a 6-man box. You want to be able to win this, and Florida's going to win right here. And that's going to change the complexion of this game. Great drive by Pyburn, first of all. Look how far we're driving upfield. Pyburn driving upfield. Caleb Banks, again, just dominating, absolutely dominating his assignment here. The right guard just cooked. Banks block sheds in there for the tackle with both Pyburn and Banks. A TFL with a light box. If you get that kind of stuff versus a passing team like LSU, you're in good shape because you're going to put them in 3rd down and long. And again, they're strong. Their passing downs are also their strength success rate wise, but you're going to continue to make them answer tough questions. So if you can play a team like LSU light in the box and have success as Florida did here, it should set you up for a positive day. After a tackle for loss by Sapp, it sets up a 3rd down and 15 now for LSU. Florida going to do the right thing here per the scouting, in my opinion. We're going to send just 4. Again, you don't need to pressure LSU. Let's drop back in a zone. Cover 3 or cover 4 ideally. We're going to cover 3 here. And let's go ahead and rally down and make a tackle and get off the field. And there it is. Nussmeier takes the check down. Tackle made by Jaden Robinson. And Florida's going to get a stop early on, up 7-0. LSU with a field goal attempt that's not going to be made. So Florida going to finish this drive up 7-0. So far for the defense, so good. 3rd down and 1. Florida again still playing a light box here. Just 6 in the box and a whole bunch of guys pretty far off the ball here. Playing safe even though LSU backed up in their own end. Not wanting to allow explosive plays. Hoping for better down and distances. Florida still feisty here. Gets a chance. Again, LSU on film. Bridges. I'll rewind it here. Bridges with a nice win. LSU on film just leaves a lot to be desired this year. They're missing blocks all over this film review. I'm not going to spend time talking about every single one of them. I'd be here forever. But here's another one earlier. Bridges as well. Got around one. He's going to get around this one. You just can't be a good running team if you can't get blocks. Take a look at that there. It's not going to work, right? If he gets that block, if 2 makes this block, this play becomes a positive play. And instead, they do get the 1st down, but just barely. Football, basic blocking and tackling. If you want to be an excellent team, you've got to do that part well before you can get to the, let's call it the finer things, if you will. But LSU does on third down here move the sticks. First down and 10 here for LSU. They're going to take a shot on this play. Going to take a shot deep in motion here. Comes number 3 for LSU, matched up on Florida's nickel. Denson on the outside. Nussmeier puts up basically a jump ball that at this point in time, you've got a bigger receiver matched up on a nickel. That's the matchup they want, right down the middle of the field. Nobody there. Matchup you should win. Nice catchable ball coming in, except he's jumping so early. I mean, actually comically early here. I mean, look at this. It's almost like he's trying not to catch this ball. I mean, you can't be a receiver at LSU, which essentially in my eyes is basically wide receiver U, right? They're a factory for guys to the league. And put that on film, and that looks unserious to me from LSU. I mean, that's not pretty. I mean, Denson's right there, but again, that's a big size advantage for them. You'll take that matchup down the field. Great work by Denson to be on that, but curious jump that we're going to see Brian Kelly doesn't love at this point. I mean, that's I don't know what that is. That does not look athletic. Doesn't look like how you want it to look, obviously, for Nussmeier. And if you're Brian Kelly, he's not happy, right? This made the rounds on social media. A lot of stuff going on here. What's wrong with you? You're not coachable. Frustrating stuff there for Brian Kelly. But a shot for LSU. Again, they are a much better passing team than running team, and they missed there on a chance for an explosive play. Not a great one, a 50-50 ball. Brian Kelly's not loving it. Brian Kelly just in general looks pretty pissed off on the sidelines for most of this game. I'm not sure how happy times are out there in Baton Rouge for either party at this point in time. Third down and 10 if you're LSU, right where you want to be. And if you're Florida, right where you also want LSU to be. So they both want to be in this position, at least it seems so far in this game. Florida's going to get a win on coverage once again. Bring 4. Check. I like that. Let's bring 4. Let's play a zone. Check. Let's do that. LSU going to counter with a bunch of vertical routes here. And Florida's going to drop back deep enough to cover all these, but also perhaps too deep to get a stop. Twist here. Going to bring a twist here with Cersei. And then Boone's going to get caught with Cameron James. Unable. They're trying to get Cameron James to shoot out here and become the new edge defender. He cannot. He gets trapped in there. And that's going to allow Nuss to roll out right here. Nussmeier rolls out. And this underneath defender, of course, we have this, right? Moten's on this one. We're not now going to be on this as we've sunk so far back. Here's Bridges identifying the dropper. We're outside. He's got to be safe. Can't allow a vertical throw to his side. And now he's going to have this check down, which Florida cannot rally down to in time. But all of that occurs because, again, you need your 4 working together as one. If you twist or you stunt, you need to get back to the edge to keep him in the pocket so you cannot have these things happen where now you got to drop back further, right? And you lose some of the angles and the leverage that you need. So Florida's going to rally down here, not going to make this tackle in time. And LSU, again, finds themselves in third down and long, and they find themselves getting another first down. Second down and 9. I got to show you this because I've talked a lot on film about how Florida safeties essentially just really don't come downhill and attempt to separate people from the ball often. We've seen Bridges do it. He's the only one, right? And we haven't seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of sort of like free catch and run. Well, let's watch Thornton read this mesh and come downhill and hit someone on time. Reads the mesh, comes downhill, Nuss throwing it, and rather than do what we've seen before, be at the first down line, then kind of come make a tackle, he's now in a position to actually make a play when this ball is caught. Now, ideally, he's there even a half beat sooner, right? He's hitting him as he's catching it, but he's still there on time to lay a hit here, snap the helmet back, which causes this ball to be incomplete on second down and 9. So I love seeing that. It's great to see that on film. Nice work, Thornton. Again, he got to play every single snap of this game. I myself am a big believer of playing your ones as much as possible. I don't love the rotation stuff, especially in the modern world of college football where you probably really should view your team more as a 53-man roster than an 85-man roster, but that's just me. Either way, though, love to see that. Third down and 9, which once again means it's LSU's favorite spot to be in, and it's Florida's seemingly preferred spot for them to be in. But here we go. What do we see if you bet check down You bet correct. Florida again rushing 4 like that. Simulated pressure like that. Playing zone behind it like that. Like everything about the look Florida's in right now. Got to make sure we don't drop off too deep. Right? If we're reading this and we're underneath defenders, there's a certain depth they run to where you can just let them go. Right? But you do need to maintain eyes, especially if they have 3 guys here and we have 7 guys in the back end. They only have 2 guys deep. Got to make sure we keep eyes on this down here. Nussmeier going to take this check down right there. And then if we get a stick, we get a stop. But we're a little late. Again, if we get a stick right there, we get a stop. We're a little late. You can probably already guess who that is. That's right. That's Castell. I won't say anything else because I don't need to. And that turns into a first down for LSU. 2nd and 7. So far, Florida's sim pressures has not affected them. We've seen in the past they can get themselves into some difficult looks. They're going to get themselves into one here, as Wingo is going to want to be covering the tight end. They're basically going to put something like this right here out. He's going to send Graham out to the flat, but he's going to be out leveraged the whole route, staying on the inside part of this out route. And that's not going to be ideal for the Gators. It's going to be a nice, easy pickup there for LSU. And again, sometimes the risk, of course, of running simulated pressures is you don't know exactly what routes they're going to run, and they just get you. And that's fine. The risk that you take is often worth the reward because it's confusing for a quarterback, and if you don't have the right play on, you can get interceptions, you can lead to easier pressure, you confuse the offensive line. So it's a risk-reward proposition. Florida loses here, and right as we're off your screen, we can see Graham's got this taken care of, but this is not going to happen, right? Totally out-leveraged. Nussmeier knows it. Nice, easy throw here. Bingo. Wide open for a first down. Simple ball, simple play on 2nd down and 7 for a first down. But that's what happens when you're going to run sim pressures. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Again, if you're Wingo right there, you're just totally out leveraged, and that is the definition of open. It's going to be an easy conversion there for LSU. 2nd and 9, you got 2 high motor guys right next to each other, Caleb Banks and Pyburn, and they are going to absolutely eviscerate the screenplay. Banks sees the puller, and he gives no cares to the puller. He's going straight for the quarterback. Pyburn reads the running back not having the ball, and he gets straight out here to the flat. So again, play recognition is everything in football. If you're going to be a react defender on the line of scrimmage, you need to be able to know where the play is going. If you do, you can take whatever speed you have, and you can be that much faster, right? Awareness, a huge thing. Banks forces this throw early, and now Pyburn is here waiting for it. One more time, Banks on his horse. Nussmeier thinking, no way, this is not what we practice. That's too quick. And then there's Pyburn just cooking the left tackle. Nothing there. 3rd and 9, right where LSU wants to be this entire drive, and it's going to work again for them here. This is going to be Nussmeier's best pass of the day. Going to get a little stutter post route here. Castell's going to be going over top to help on anything going to the outside. It's Denson's job to make sure that he stays vertical to the inside here. He's just going to get beat with a nice route here. And Nussmeier's going to do a really nice job. He's going to read 1, 2, and then 3 and get some pressure on this throw from the Gators. He is going to have this option available here as a throw, which he probably should have made, as we're going to see. Comes around late to this 3rd throw and hits it. And I say should have made just because of what happened. So here's 1. I'm going to read 1 right here. Dijon perfectly playing in between both of them, right? So like we talked about in the offensive film review, if you're a quarterback here, your right foot hits. You need to make sure you have enough time for this to declare. Of course, it's 3rd down and 9. You really don't want to throw this underneath route. So if you don't have that, you do need to get to your next read, right? And his next read, of course, would be this corner route, little smash concept here. But he already comes off that right away. And as you can see, if he waits 1 more beat right here, just glue his eyes 1 more beat, Dijon declares, and now he can choose to hit this route. If he wants to, there's your route right there, right? He doesn't. Instead, he loses his throw window, which is very, very clean for this throw. And now he's going to try to come across for this one, which right now looks like Denson's got that locked up, right? Looks like we're good. Looks like we're probably going to maybe get some pressure in here in a second. But Nussmeier pumps. Right, here's a pump because he already knows that he's got this guy running this stutter post. He's also early on it, and now he's got his own lineman in his way. pumps, and then reloads with space to say, okay, I still want this throw. I need to get this in there. And with a guy right in his face with not a lot of momentum, right, delivers this absolute dime. I mean, that's a great ball. Under the circumstances, that's an exceptional ball. This is not Castell's fault on the film review. We don't try to blame anyone unless it is obviously their scenario. And on this particular play, this is not Castell. Florida's essentially playing, of course, a split safety look here where they're covering this differently. But this is for all practical purposes cover 2, a Tampa 2 here really where Denson is walling off the inside, needing to get deep. And you can see he's walling off the inside here. But now I'm going to show you the move that gets him. He stutters to the in right here. He's stopping. Look on the 20-yard line. Let's focus right here. He's going to stop like he's going to run this dig and then release out of it, right? So Denson stops his footwork as well, thinking that dig is coming right here. He stopped right there. And then the relaunch gets him going where he wants to go. Nussmeier gets just enough time right here. He's about to throw it, which would have been, possible. He knows where his receiver's going. He knows he has tons and tons of grass over here. He's got everything he wants. That's a cover 2 beater route. But just doesn't have it because his lineman's getting pushed into him. Steps up and delivers a fantastic pass. Again, Nussmeier is best under pressure, as we talked about already. It's an odd quirk. It's his highest rating. He's best under pressure. He's feeling LSU back on the board, pointing to the back of his jersey, which I don't love that at any level, especially if you're 6-3. But that's the modern world we live in. Let's take a look at the replay here. This is a nice play by Nussmeier, and here is Denson right there. There's the move. Looks like he's coming on that dig route. Nice footwork and launches himself out of it. Really good stuff. Denson not there. That's going to wind up causing the issue for the Gators, and a perfect ball right on the face mask there from Nussmeier. Excellent stuff from LSU. And right here from Nussmeier, this is what he sees, right? He knows at this point, he's gone 1, 2. He knows right here, Castell's out of the play. He just wants to get the ball there. That's what he's looking to do. That's why he wants to throw it right here. Instead, doesn't love this right in his face and says, nope, don't love that. Don't love gums in my face either, but I think I've got a shot right here. And he takes that shot, and he hits that shot. We're tied up 7-7. All right, 1st down and 10. Gates going to be right here. Is he going to make another hero play here? Although it's 1st down, not nearly as high leverage. Quick read. Again, I like this about Gates. Quickly reads the play. He's going to come downhill and get into his assignment gap and make a tackle. Trust the gap. This is your job. Do your job here, and let's make a tackle. He's perfectly aligned. He's on the outside leg, right where you want to be. Not on the inside leg where you can bounce it to the outside. Wrap up, make a tackle. It's going to be textbook, and another 10 out of 10 play. He overruns it just a bit. A little bit of a drive-by there, and does not make the tackle, but does enough to slow him down to where it's not going to be more than a chunk play. Of course, it is still a chunk run, still an explosive run. Not what you want. Florida's all over that play, but misses a one-on-one tackle in this instance. 3rd down and 7 now. LSU's, of course, favorite down. Under a minute left to go. LSU driving, trying to tie this game or take a lead. Going to get man from Florida here, matched up here and matched up here. Going to get an out route on Dijon and a whip out route here. Underneath on this left side, Nussmeier going to open up. Goes straight to the read. Knows he's 2x2 in pre-snap. Feels like he's in man. Again, Florida's run a lot of zone here. Florida going to play man, something that on the podcast we hoped Florida wouldn't do much of because Nussmeier and LSU is so much better at it. However, they've run a lot of zone on 3rd down, and that was, although keeping a lid on things, wasn't working either, as we saw earlier. So why not try something different? Can't fault them for that. LSU, again, going to get several wins here. The whip out here, a leverage out route, and us just reading which one he has, hoping, of course, for the further one, for the one that results in a 1st down, gets what he wants. Florida does bring a 5-man pressure here, so we're going to bring pressure. Not what I love. Going to play man across the board. Not something we wanted. But again, I get it in this situation with why they tried it. Good pass there by Nussmeier, and they convert, moving under 50 seconds to go in the half. 2nd down and 10. Not 3rd down yet, so 2nd down. Why am I showing you this? This seems odd. Well, it's going to be Florida's 1st sack of the game. Sim pressure, only going to bring 4, not going to bring pressure. Going to drop Pyburn back, going to drop into a Tampa 2 here. So we're going to play zone behind it, not a cover 3 or cover 4. But I don't mind the Tampa 2 here. See if you can't get a robber, since they're running a lot of cover 2 beaters. See if you can't rob this underneath. Allow your corners, of course, to play aggressively on this. We're robbing this slant route here. And then on top of that, you're going to get Shamar James, who's one of Florida's best, I think, non-traditional rushers. Generally gets close to the quarterback or wreaks some havoc on him. And he is going to put himself into the film room of LSU and Florida this week. And for Florida, it's going to be awesome. For LSU, for number 10, he is not going to want to watch this anymore. Take a look at Shamar James here, just casting aside the running back, right? Nope. I mean, one more time. Nope, 2 more times. Actually, 1 more time. Gone. Just chucked. Just completely get out of my way. And then for Nussmeier, thank you very much. Down we go. Right? And it's not number 10, it's number 18. My apologies to number 10, who's not on this film review. Number 18 on the film review. Shamar right here doing work. Bringing up 3rd down, clock running, LSU with 1 timeout left. And I mean, just absolutely obliterating the pass protection of number 18. Doesn't get a long time to celebrate because the clock's still running. LSU still driving here on 3rd down and 18. But hey, they love this down. It's right where they want to be. Florida just 4-man pressure. And Florida gets a stop by Shamar James again. Lock him down, right? Put the seatbelt on him. Lock him down. Let the LSU sideline know, don't try me. First I get a sack. Then I get a pass defended. Excellent two-play set there by Shamar. Nussmeier not pleased, thinking, hey, it's 3rd and 18. We should be awesome at that. We always get that. Don't get it here. And Florida survives this drive. But we got to go back and watch Shamar, right? That's what we're here. We got to watch Shamar just take care of 18. I'm going to watch it in full speed in a second. Don't worry. But, I mean, just lean in and cast this man aside. Nope. Not today. Nussmeier tucks up and takes the punishment. One more time. Let's go back here. Let this happen in all its glory. Not today. Thank you very much. Sack. That's Florida's first sack of the day. There are 6 more coming. And then there's Shamar with the pass defended. Heck of a way to close out the first half for Florida, as LSU is going to make this field goal attempt. And this game is tied. LSU had the ball for twice as long as Florida did in this half. But it is 10 to 10, and Florida, of course, will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 7. Caleb Banks going to get a huge one-on-one win here, and then a strip of Nussmeier. Again, Florida with only 1 sack so far at this point in the game, but they're going to start racking those up in the second half. Florida now coming out with a very different look than what they've shown LSU thus far. Played a decent amount of cover 2. In this game, a couple clips you've already seen already. And now Florida going to play cover 2 man again. A little bracket here to the inside. Going to sit off here. Cover 2 man. Banks is going to win this and set this up for the Gators right off the gate. Quick little instep. Cast aside the left guard. Strip of the ball, and then a tackle for loss right there by Banks. I mean, just good stuff. Again, he's going to get better and better as this game goes on. He was winning one-on-ones all day long. He has been Florida's most consistent defensive player all season long, and he was absolutely feeling it in this game. A complete menace to LSU in this football game. And here is Banks right there, bottom of your screen, circled not by me. Doesn't matter who's circling it. You know he's going to win. Cast aside that left guard. Get that strip, and unfortunately, Florida gets a bad bounce there and does not pick that ball up. But Banks, a problem for LSU on Saturday. I mean, it's 3rd and 12, so again, LSU right where they want to be, inside their own 10-yard line, 3rd and 12. They're kind of just setting up Florida for these so they can keep converting them, and they're going to convert them in every possible way they can, motioning over into what's going to be a 3-by-1, or what Florida maybe thinks is going to be a 3-by-1. And instead, they're going to just, they're going to run into a 6-man box, which Florida's been fine with largely all day. LSU has not been able to have a ton of success. They've been fine on the ground. But right here, Florida is okay. They're not ready for this. 2 linebackers here. We've got 2 safeties with eyes on the ball. Should be getting into the run fit. Everything here should be just fine. We're going to squeeze through this hole. We don't get, right, we can't, although we're trying here to get off of this block and the gap. We can't get there. Can't get there here. And now we need a safety to just come downhill and make a committed tackle. Again, there are two of you. Read the play as run. Come downhill and make a committed tackle. Not going to happen, right? You can pick up a first down there on 3rd down and 12 inside the 10-yard line. Yuck. For Florida's defense, this day had some highs and some lows, and obviously the plethora of 3rd down conversions, especially 3rd and long, really, really plagued them in this game. All right, 1st and 10, we've had our early game talk here with number 3. It's time to see if he can't be more coachable and get something going here on this go route up the seam where he is going to absolutely be wide open. And again, this is one of the things about DJ Lagway that we see on Florida's offensive film review. He does not miss a shot like this. Gates, who we know is not gifted in pass coverage, finds himself on this particular play playing safety. Again, Florida's caught in a bad look here on 1st and 10. Brian Kelly draws up exactly what they want. You've got Bridges, the guy who's not typically playing corner for Florida. You've got Gates, the guy who's not a safety. And you've got one of your fastest receivers running a seam go route. You've got enough of a pocket here, although you're going to get affected a little bit. Enough of a pocket here to deliver this ball. But again, don't sleep on this pressure right here. There's enough pressure by Pyburn around the corner. Or Sapp, rather. Sorry, not Pyburn. Sapp around the corner here. This win helps make this play. Watch it right there on the edge. He gets around that. And if that's not there, it's more comfortable. But as it stands, Nussmeier's throw really is not affected by Sapp. The ball's not hit. He's not quite there. Not an excuse. This is a wide open touchdown. You've got to hit this. You've got to give your receiver a chance, right? He's beat him by a good yard or 2 yards, and that ball's way overthrown. And again, you see this all the time in college football. That's what makes DJ Lagway so different, DJ Dimes, is he's hitting basically every single one of those. But don't take that for granted. They're not that easy to hit. But LSU misses an opportunity there. And perhaps this time Brian Kelly won't be too pissed off at number 3 because he was wide open there. Not really sure what else he can do in that situation. Again, as they get everything they want, right? Everything they want. Shot of the earlier strip sack that winds up being a tackle for loss and not a strip sack where Nussmeier's hand is hurt. And so perhaps the broadcast is saying, well, that's maybe why he misses that throw. We'll never know. 3rd down and 8, right where LSU wants to be. Yes, I'm a broken record. I got to keep saying it because they've earned it in these situations. And I don't blame Florida here. We know what the meta strategy is. Play zone rush 4. We know that. You don't want to pressure Nussmeier. He's best. But look, they keep converting. You just keep trying stuff, right? So now Florida's going to go very aggressive. Going to send a ton of pressure at Nussmeier. And unfortunately, teams are getting pretty good at identifying who they want to attack in these moments. And they're going to attack Gates. And this is going to be a filthy route right here. Keep your eye on that part of the screen. As again, Florida is bringing the house right here. Right, Florida bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Playing man behind it with the safety. And we have got a problem. This looks like it's going to be a drag route. Understandable. Gates trying to stay on top of that. You can't just jog with that, right? You've got to go with that. Totally understandable. And Nussmeier is reading down here, his first read on Dijon, which is also going to be the same route, right? They're both running these whip outs, except Dijon's on it. Gates not going to be on this coming out the back end. He's going to overrun that, and we are in trouble, right? We're here. Nussmeier is also in trouble because Banks has gotten through. Florida's pressure getting there. 6 guys coming in hot. Banks chasing after Nussmeier again right here. And he's got to get rid of this ball. Gates loses control of that route. That's a really tough route. I'm not going to dog Gates for that. Again, especially because that is his weakness, right? I mean, that's just a tough route. He's got to hustle to get that dig, or that drag rather. It doesn't work out. It's a first down again on 3rd down and long for LSU. Thus far, Florida's kept a lid on LSU's passing game, which is exactly what you want to do versus them. You want to make them drive down the field, run the football. Shot taken here into traffic. Castell's going to make a nice play on this ball. He's in position. Really, Nussmeier's just taking a shot here. There's nothing on this clip you're going to see that ever really has anyone open. Takes a shot. Castell goes for a sensational one-handed pick here, which he almost gets, but a nice pass defended there by Castell. Again, a guy who on film review week to week has been not on the right end of things, is going to make a nice play there. He's in good position. Nussmeier really just forcing this one on play action in there. Again, there's nothing here, right? There's Thornton, and you think, okay, he's got something there, but then there's Castell, who turns around a little late, but he's here for this, and then he makes this play. So good stuff there by Castell. Good recovery, flies in to the field goal bottom, but almost makes a sweet pick. But either way, nice play, full speed there. Good turn, good play, good defense. Nussmeier kind of just taking a shot there where there really wasn't a reason to take one, but Florida keeping a clean lid on LSU, allowing a lot of third down conversions, but not allowing a lot of explosive plays. Yes, I timed that comment up perfectly because this is going to be an explosive run by LSU. Caleb Banks going to get a win here one-on-one, but he is going to take himself out of the B gap and kind of put himself almost into the C here, which is right where that run is going to go. We're not going to get off a block here. We're going to miss the tackle over here. And LSU is going to have an explosive run play. Florida was 6 in the box again. They've been fine, not dominant, not amazing, but they've been fine. LSU obviously has not been able to craft everything they've won in the run game. Banks again does win one-on-one, but really here, he's in run fit. Again, he needs to be holding on to 70 longer because he needs to be able to get to this window as well as this window. But he cast aside the right guard, and in doing so, although he gets a block shed, he can't get back to the gap he would have been at had he just hung on. So a nice one-on-one win there. Unfortunately, is not ideal, and then we can't get off this block here, which we need to. We don't do that, but no worries. We have Bridges, who tends to come downhill, and has been a really sure tackler for Florida. He's going to miss. Then Denson's got to ride him for a while and take him down. Into the red zone, LSU goes, tied 10-10 in the third quarter. If you watched a lot of Florida football, you're perhaps now thinking, I know what's going to happen here. LSU is going to dog walk us to the end, and that's going to be that. Here's a look at the end zone camera of what we're talking about right here with Banks. So again, in run fit here, he can't, this is his gap, right? And obviously you'd like to also have your other defensive lineman controlling his gap so he can get in here. But Banks winds up entirely on this side of his gap. Now, again, I should say I don't know what the run fit is. I don't know the scenarios. It's very possible that they only want him to play this side of the B gap, almost into the C. That's all possible. I can't know for sure. But in this case, I can't know for sure, but I can say, obviously, if Banks did stay here and hold up and wait, he would have been able to take either gap, right? Especially since he could shed that block so easily. But he actually puts himself out of the gap he's supposed to be in and protecting and doesn't have any help from here. So if he gets the same shed that he gets on this side from his teammate here, this still works out. But if he also just holds up here, he can go either way. Instead, we're coming in for a big-time play, and we're missing right there the tackle we need, and that is going to lead to the run. So again, not entirely Banks' fault there, and I can't say for sure if they wanted him to be attacking that gap in general. I can't, but I can say that was a bad run fit for Florida, and LSU takes advantage. 3rd down and 8. You already know what I'm going to say, right where LSU wants to be, and you would be correct. And in fact, this is going to be a call I think they want to see. Again, did not want to see Florida play man versus LSU. Certainly didn't want to see them play cover 0 against LSU, and that's exactly what Florida's going to do here. And I generally like cover 0 in the red zone especially. Don't love it versus LSU, and they put a rub route on. Again, all of you know how much I appreciate team-oriented man concepts, right? Man beaters that are more than just running an individual route, and this should be a touchdown. There's no need for number 2 to do what he does here, which essentially is block. All he has to do is even just get slightly in the way of Bridges. This is not a battle. Florida is going to win, however, in this case, he's going to go put his hands on him. There he is, watch number 2, top of the screen. You can see the white gloves, and I mean the hands are on him. I mean you cannot do that, right? That's the definition of a pick route. It cannot be done. He didn't need to do it, but for Florida's sake, they're going to take that because that's a walk-in touchdown. If he just runs a route, if he just runs his route right like this and it doesn't even worry about touching him, go nice and slow, there's no way Florida's stopping that. That's going to be a walk-in touchdown. And instead, it is not a walk-in touchdown. The flag flies. LSU celebrating, feeling good about themselves. Nussmeier feeling good about himself. Oh, no, not the flag. Come on, man. Don't do it to me. Oh, yeah, we're doing it to you. And there's Brian Kelly. I mean, that is the look of an unhappy man. Another shot of it there. I'm just going to skip through it. You already saw it. And this is just some more Brian Kelly. Not a happy guy. And now he's got, third and even longer. So, hey, look, if you like 3rd and 8, how about 3rd and 24? It's an extra challenge. You're just playing on Heisman mode and scenario mode where everything is even harder. And maybe you can still get this on 3rd and 24. You've gotten almost everything else. Florida going to rush 4, sim pressure, little check down, get the stop, right? Big time stuff there for the Gators. Quick hurried check down by Nussmeier. Big moment in the game right there. You go from a touchdown, now needing a long field goal, which LSU will hit. But 13-10 is not 17-10. And Florida on the right side of that penalty call, which in fact was a penalty. But on the right side of that work by LSU. Again, a sloppy game here by LSU. At moments, really solid on 3rd down. And obviously on that 3rd down, maybe the most significant 3rd down of the game to this point, does not go in their favor. 3rd and 5. Perhaps Florida decides this is a better down and distance now. It's not quite as long. They might get something they want. And they're going to play a little bit more vanilla. Florida having a hard time kind of lining up what they want their front four to do. We get a motion across from LSU. And again, some confusion, right? What are we doing here? What's happening here? Where do we want Graham? Little bit of confusion, but we do get set. And Florida not going to have a sim pressure here, not going to have a creeper, just going to line up straight up and play some defense. Nussmeier wants to work this side. I think he wants to again work this whip out, this time on Miles Graham. Wants to work it right there, number 1. That's what he wants. Doesn't like what he sees here early on. And I think that's because likely, again, he's reading this spot of grass, and we've got Denson sitting right over this route at the 1st down marker, and he's thinking that is not going to get there. And now he bails on this whip out route to check up top here, which we've got 2 safeties sitting up high, and he knows that is dead. So now it's going to be escape mode for him, and Gums is going to wind up working right into his face right there, and then Cersei is going to come off the edge over here and do a really nice job of doing something I talked about earlier this year, which is you want to maintain, of course, your integrity rushing as a unit. But it's really important that you actually rush on this outside shoulder. Don't rush to where he is right now so he can juke you and take you to the outside. Turn him back into the middle. And Cersei has done a great job here listening to his coaching staff, setting himself up on the outside, right? He overruns this just a touch, but because he's on that outside, now you bring Gums into the play and you get a 2-on-1 opportunity here to get a sack. There it is. You turn around Nussmeier, and then a bonus, by the way, you strip him again. And unfortunately for the Gators, this one goes right to LSU again on 3rd down and 5, and you're thinking, wait a minute, are they going to convert this one as well? And for a second, it looked like they might. We've got a rumbling offensive lineman here, turning back the clock to high school where he clearly was a running back. He's got the ball high and tight. Nice work there by Miles Graham going low, saying, look, can't take this guy up high. Let's go low. Then a shot up high by Banks, and Banks going to separate him from the ball with that shot. And it goes right to Banks. Banks scoops it up, and Florida is in business with their first and only turnover of this game. But all of that came from coverage. Florida's coverage is what caused that to happen. That's what allowed that play to happen. So Florida gets, again, pressure based upon coverage. They deny the early routes for Nussmeier. Nussmeier tries to escape, and the Gators on board, letting the recruits know what's up. Hey, look, we got Lagway. We're a different team with Lagway. It's the Lagway effect. You want to be here. You want to play here. And then here is Cersei taking that outside line. If he steps inside here, Nuss is going to get a chance to roll out. He does not do that. He denies that, staying on the outside shoulder. Great work. Gums and Cersei there combining for this strip. There it goes right there. And then Banks and Graham going to do the rest on the hit right there. Picking up that ball, setting up Florida in great field position, which they would waste. They would waste and wind up having to punt. However, big turnover in this game, and it would set up Florida in a chance to get points later here, as we're going to see. 3rd and 8, this feels like a distance that LSU would love. It's not 3rd down and 5. I think they're trying to hit right here their tight end, who they've been feeding all game long, but Florida's going to bring Castell and bracket this, which I think is smart in this scenario. Take away what they've been trying to hit all day. Run off route here. I think Nuss wants to go here. Most importantly, Florida's not going to bring pressure here. There's not going to be even a sim pressure. We're going to line up and just play solid defense, right? Going to line up here, 4 over 3, 3 over 2, 4-man rush. Let's keep it simple. Let's see if this worked. It worked last time. And right away, Nussmeier is going to look at this. He wants this space here. And then you're going to see Castell come clamping down on this space. And I think Nussmeier is going to decide the last second doesn't like that throw. Right here, he's itching to throw the ball. Then decides, I don't love that. I'm going to tuck it. I'm not going to throw this ball. I'm going to tuck it, right? So Florida wins again with regards to coverage. The front 4 is in good shape again, holding together here. No escape route that's easy for Nussmeier to get into. And now we see Banks go for a pump fake. Gums recycles. Really important play here, right? Banks comes in for the sack, gets off the right side. Nussmeier now steps up. If Gums does not get back to refill that, Nussmeier might have an escape angle, but he does not. And Florida gets a big-time sack. Again, 2 crucial plays in a row where Florida's not blitzing. They're not bringing pressure. They shut down the first read. And then that causes Nussmeier right here. Doesn't love it, doesn't want it, tries to get off of that, does not. Florida's pressure gets home. I'm not going to call this one a coverage sack because he really only had time for that one particular read before the pressure got there. But Florida gets home with 4, gets a big sack, sets himself up for another chance to have prime field goal position where this time they would cash in. Florida now up 20-13. They do cash in off of the field position. Florida's going to do a nice job here of reading LSU's mail on 1st down and 10. LSU comes out in a heavier personnel package, playing a little bit tighter, more phone booth style here. Florida's going to read this correctly, bring Gates off the edge, and bring Sapp right here, followed by Castell. And they're getting a nice tackle for loss. Sapp instantly wins, blows by his man. Gates does what he does, getting into the backfield, reading the play, being the edge setter here on defense, turning this back into Sapp for a sweet tackle for loss. Sapp's had a couple other ones I have not showed you. He had a really solid game, and Gates, of course, doing what he does in the run game. So 1st down, run from LSU, down 7 in the 4th quarter, Florida with a big tackle for loss. 3rd and 11 now, and sometimes coaches, I think, just overthink things, right? If you're paying attention to something like game theory, it's always really important to be one level above your opponent. So if I think you're going to do this, I want to be just one level ahead of you. And sometimes you can even play very naive and just say, hey, it's worked the past 2 times. I've not brought us in pressure. I've just sat back in a very static defense, and I've beaten them. Instead, Florida's going to get creative here. They think, hey, you know what? LSU knows we've been doing normal stuff. Let's get a little wild. Let's drop Gums back here, right? Non-traditional pass defender, drop him back to play defense. Let's bring a corner here into our 4-man rush. And I think Florida's going to wind up, again, overthinking this here. They're also going to trap all 4 of their rushers. This is not what you want to see. Not good. Cersei in good position. Need to have Cameron James or someone else here on the edge. Going to lose control of this right there. We allow him to slide out of the pocket, and now he's got options. Easy throw on the dig route, and a big conversion on 3rd and 11. So I think you got a little too cute there as a coaching staff, right? You had something working. You've been searching all game for something to work. It had worked really well. Rush the front 4, drop back, put your best defenders out there and see what happens. Florida gets cute, doesn't work out right here, and LSU moves the sticks. We're about to embark on about an 8-minute drive here, as LSU cannot move quickly, but they will move effectively down the field, as we are about to see. 2nd and 7, Florida going to bring another simulated pressure here. This one is going to get home, Gate's going to be coming on this one. You're going to see a significant delay on this sim pressure as Gums is down here battling. He's going to pull out right there, and you're only going to have 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Gates winning here. He is going to be the key factor as right there, Nuss just plants his right foot. Doesn't have time to step and make a throw. This is going to be a pressure, front 4 oriented win here instead of coverage. It's going to go to pressure instead of coverage there, although coverage is fine. And then you've got Cameron James coming back across to seal this up. Nice work. You have to have 4 working as 1. No escape out the back end. Let's take that sack right there. Florida turning up the heat, not by way of blitzes, but simply by way of pressure from the 4-man rushes they are bringing. 3rd and 14 here. Florida's going to pattern match these routes here, a little zone match concept. Going to just rush 4, no simulated pressure here. Going to play some more vanilla defense, if you will. You know, again, if you're going to pattern match or zone match, it's still not vanilla, right? But obviously no sim pressure here, not threatening pressure, just playing sound, rallying down, and making a tackle. Again, LSU, their favorite route versus Florida has clearly been these whip out routes. They've loved these routes. Here's Bridges. Got to rally down, make a tackle. You would have liked for him not to get quite as much as he did there on 3rd down and 14, but they get enough to make this a 4th and short, which means, of course, LSU is going to go for it. 4th and 3 here now for LSU. This is essentially not the game, but obviously a major point where Florida gets a stop here, a chance to roll off more clock and get a field goal to put this up 2 scores. Brian Kelly not feeling comfortable punting. Look, there's 10 minutes left. Plenty of reason to think just punt them deep, get the ball back, play field position. But Brian Kelly says, nope, I don't want to do that. I've been making 3rd down seemingly all day long. Let's see what I get here. And LSU is going to have something really easy. I'm not sure what DeJean is doing up here, but he's going to give him this route here. I mean, he's wide open. Watch it on your screen. Nussmeier's not going to look there first. He's looking in here. But, I mean, he's giving it to him. Take a look at that. I mean, that's there all day. That is a layup 1st down. But Nussmeier's reading in here. So Florida wins at the point it needs to win at. Not sure what's happening there really at all. And then we've got Banks on a twist and a stunt here with Gums. Banks needs to get out here on this edge because he's got Gums replacing him. And instead, he's going to squeeze through. And look, this is tough, right? He's squeezing through 2 guys here, putting pressure on Nussmeier on 4th down and 3, rolling him out to his left. Not a bad place to go, but there's no one else on that edge there. Gums is going to catch up eventually. So if we have good coverage, we're still okay. But essentially, again, DeJean really I don't really understand what he did that entire play. It's like he took the play off. Very confusing. Don't get it. Thankfully, it's not going to affect Florida too bad in the long run, but he's not there ever. You got the quarterback rolling out left. This guy's been sitting here the entire time. You got to clamp on at some point, DeJean. Doesn't do it. Whiffs the tackle. 1st down. Not a great look there on 4th down and 3. That's not great defense by Florida. LSU converts, and they're still in this game, driving down in the 4th quarter here, despite really a ton of adverse situations for them on offense. 4th and 4, LSU again finds themselves in what most teams would find to be a bad position, what LSU finds to be a good position. Florida, sim pressure, not going to bring pressure. Sim pressure, not going to bring pressure. I'm glad they don't, but we are going to bring, again, some non-traditional rushers in here, some late piling on stuff. But here's the matchup we're looking at, and it's all Nussmeier's looking at. Shamar James, of course, a frequent target of opposing teams in pass coverage, versus a tight end that they've been throwing the ball to frequently, really as much as they possibly can, right? Nussmeier, I think, has just been looking underneath almost this entire game. He's got time for this. Shamar is in perfect position. He goes to look at him again to see where he is relocating towards and then loses him, which is unfortunate. He's perfectly on him early on. Florida does not get home at all with the pass rush, and that then creates that crease for the conversion on the 1st down. So Shamar takes away the first read, takes away the initial stem of the route. If Florida had gotten home, we would have been there. We do not get home, and LSU converts their 2nd 4th down of this drive. Here's a look from the end zone cam. Focus on Shamar. Yep, right there. That's Shamar. Looks left first. First read to the left. Doesn't love it. doesn't love it. And again, for Nuss on film, he has windows he could have been hitting in this game. You've seen them. I've not shown you all of them, but they've been there. He opts not to like all of them and says he's going to lock on here, and that's gone, right? That's dead. That's what I told you about. That is dead. But he's committed now. He's like, I'm committed to this. This is the throw I want to make. And then Shamar, as he looks back, unfortunately, wants to check where he is. He just drifts away. And that allows for a very easy completion right there. That's unlucky for Shamar and for LSU, right where they want Florida to be. You know, hey, put us in fourth down, third down and long, whatever the case is, we'll get it done. 3rd and 11 here now. This is a fun cat and mouse play here from the Gators. LSU feels good about the matchup they had earlier in the game, and we saw Denson, the same matchup here, literally the same one, and we saw that little stutter post route. Florida's going to open up again in a cover 2. Going to go into the cover 2. We got a smash concept here, which Nussmeier's going to read first. He's not going to like that. He's going to move over here to the stutter post. Let's walk through it. There's your smash. Doesn't love it. We've got Shamar running off to wall off the inside. Got a narrow area here to the boundary to hit this corner route. Now Nuss is working this route knowing, hey, look, I've got a safety glued to the sideline. I probably have this potentially again. Now Castell's in better position here, but how does Denson handle this stutter dig we saw before? Here it is, right? There's the stutter right there. He's coming in, little stutter. Denson does freeze again. And in fact, does get beat again. Not as bad this time, obviously. Not going to matter, though, because this time Florida gets home with some pressure. And you also have, of course, as a robber here, Shamar James. But he is beat. They're both beat. If he's able to stay in the pocket here, that is going to be potentially a game-tying touchdown. I rewind it one more time. Imagine this pocket's clean, right? Nussmeier right now is looking at it. Imagine that Gums is not getting a drive in here and he can step up into this little area of the pocket. And imagine this route you see run right here. There's a chance right there. That ball is going over the top for 6, right? So LSU dares to do it again on Denson. Seems like they get him again. Not as bad the first time. They get him again, but Gums is there to the rescue. Pressure then put on Nussmeier. Nussmeier rolls out. It's a scramble drill now. Nothing to go to. Gums takes him down. Big time play on 3rd down and 11. The pressure there from Gums causes Nussmeier to escape the pocket, causes LSU to miss a chance to throw that ball there where it may have been there. But Brian Kelly goes back to the well. Here it is. We're right back to the well. And there's your stutter. And look, right here, if you're a quarterback, you have this ball right to the O on Florida, right? That ball's there. Not going to be as easy as it was last time. Castell is not as far over, obviously. He's putting more pressure on it. But still, this throw is here. Shamar's way underneath that. He's a good 2 yards behind him. You can put this ball there. It's exactly what Nussmeier wants to do, but Gums ruins it, right? If Gums does not come into right there, this ball is going to be flying right to that O. Maybe a touchdown, may not be, but certainly not going to be anything right now, right? Not going to be anything right now. And again, Florida plays good defense on this play. Denson holds up enough, but more importantly, Gums gets the win, and LSU elects to kick a field goal here. A field goal on 4th and 10, which perhaps is a little curious, given how well they've done on 4th down. A little curious to not attempt to go for the tie here if you're LSU. They go for 3, give Billy back the ball, and then we'll see how that turns out for LSU. Well, how did it turn out, you ask? It turned out pretty much like this. Florida up 27-16 now, and yep, that's the look right there. Again, Brian Kelly's body language, I think, pretty wild here for a head coach with his stature at this stage of the game. Just not a good fit for both sides out there right now. Huge contract, huge buyout. Keep your eyes on Baton Rouge. LSU seemingly in no hurry on this drive to get down the field. They need to score twice. They've been taking forever, right? Possessing the ball forever in this game. They need to score very quickly. And seemingly, just kind of cruising, taking their time. 3rd down and 4. Another 3rd down, which you can bet your money LSU's going to get it because that's what LSU does in this game. Florida going to bring just 4. Down with that. And they're going to get it. Surprise, surprise, right? They get it. First and 10 now, clock running. The sim pressure party continues. This time, Shamar James, again, I think he's one of Florida's best non-traditional rushers. Here he comes. Sim pressure. What can we do? Boom. Contact the running back. This time the running back's like, hey, I got the smoke last time. I don't want the smoke. Still got the smoke. He engages this time. In the hole. Doesn't matter. Shamar, Caleb Banks, in there for a sack. Nussmeier down, thinking there's no way that 18 let me down again. But Shamar James twice just eviscerating the pass pro block of LSU's running back. Nussmeier down. He's hurt. The pride's hurt. The feeling is hurt. Florida fans getting a rare chance to be excited, beating a team that actually has a winning record. Not that often or Napier, but watch Shamar James right here blow up Williams yet again. Just get off of me. Bingo. Sack. I mean, that's a good two-pack. Good two-pack there. 6 versus 18 in this game for Florida. That's a good two-pack for Shamar James. 3rd and 20. Florida's going to elect to play cover 2 man here. Again, ideally, you don't want to play a lot of man against LSU. Not ideal. And they're going to win with a simple drag route here. Here's Dejan. Curious stuff from Dejan here. He's going to take a super angle, let's call it. But in doing so, he's trailing by a mile. And he is never going to catch back up. And then he's also kind of jogs there for a second. I mean, Bridges tries to help, right? Bridges is peeling off his man when he sees his ball completed to come down and tackle. And he would have been able to help, but he's going to hit the brakes right here and just unfortunately not get a good step. And so now Dejan's by himself, and now that's a first down. And that's a bad look on 3rd and 20. Again, Florida, this is a wild film review, right? Not only is it really long with a million plays, but how many 3rd and 4th downs have we looked at? I mean, pretty much all of them. Simple drag route, easy ball, 3rd and 20, give him the line. Conversion. 2-minute warning, here we go. All right, first down and 10, another chance for number 3, Chris Hilton Jr. at the top of your screen, one of the fastest players in college football. We've seen that all day today. However, it's not turned into production. He's going to miss a chance here as well. Just straight go route. No chance there for Dejan. I mean, he's toast. This ball is, you would say maybe a touch too far if you're going for perfection, but you got to catch this ball, right? You're full speed up the sideline. You've cooked your man. You've got to come down with this. Little bit of alligator arms right there. Feels the end line coming and cannot hang on. This ball, again, catchable here. Not easy. Full speed. Feels the end line. Got to get your feet down. But obviously there for Hilton, just a frustrating day, right? He's feeling that. Feels like he's open. Feels he could have a better ball. And it could be a better ball. It's a catchable ball. You got to help your quarterback out right here. Could be a better ball, right? This could definitely be a better ball. He's that open, but you also could have caught that ball if you're Hilton. Either way, LSU still at this point in time would need an onside kick. They don't get that touchdown, but just, for Nussmeier and LSU, that's kind of how the whole day was. Survive, 3rd down, 4th down, survive. Just can't quite get the ball into the end zone. 3rd and 5, check out Sapp right here. Going to get another TFL, this time in the way of a sack. Just a one-on-one manhandling of the left guard. Boom. Sack. That's just big-time day from 94 for the Gators. Sapp showing up all over the field here in the swamp on this particular Saturday. Just absolutely manhandling whomever's in front of him. Florida recording their 7th sack of the game. 7th sack of the game. That's one more than LSU had allowed all season long. And there's Sapp, 94 right there. Just going to absolutely manhandle the left guard. Gone. Get out of my way. Sack. And Nussmeier's thinking, man, I have had better days, right? Used to live in Gainesville, played quarterback here, and he's like, maybe I'm just going to go to sleep dreaming about yesteryear, because this year, right now, this moment, not my favorite. 4th and 12. LSU's now had the ball for 41 minutes in this game. What is Florida going to do here? Can they get a stop? Well, look, first of all, back to some vanilla stuff. No sim pressure. Just going to bring our 4 best rushers. I'm down for that, right? That's been working the best in this game. Let's play zone behind this. I'm down for that too. I'm liking everything I'm seeing so far. Let's see if we can't hold up and get a stop. Nice work here with our rush integrity. That's looking good. Everything's looking good so far. Take a look at how the routes are covered here. We're clamped up here. We're chasing this one shallow. We're good here. And then here's your tight end, which you know Nussmeier wants to hit. We've got Bridges there on a bracket on that one, which looks good. And Nussmeier says, I don't really care. I've got a guy right here. I'm throwing for my tight end. He's been good for me all day long. It's a matchup versus Shamar James. He gets loose, by the way. He beats Shamar. Shamar's beaten. But Florida there, clamping down, bracketing on that tight end. And there's Bridges finishing that off. Ball game, right? There's Billy Napier. I can't believe it. I've got my first win of the year versus a team that has a winning record and probably will finish with the winning record, but not a guarantee, as LSU has now lost 3 in a row. That's going to be my 4th win over a team that finishes with a winning record or better, 500 or better, rather, and that's exciting. I'm excited. I'm fired up, right? Florida's fired up. Big win at home in the Swamp. First win versus Brian Kelly. First win for Florida over LSU since 2018. Perhaps this reverses the Marco Wilson curse of throwing the shoe, if that is a thing. But no matter what it is, Florida gets a win over the Tigers. A much-needed win in the Swamp, setting up a showdown, if you will, with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin on Saturday. As always, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm James DiVirgilio, the host of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'll be back with you next week to break down the Ole Miss action, and hopefully my voice will be back to 100% then. See you next time.